What is up, guys, and welcome to another Q&A. Let's get started. Primzone says, how do you set up the camera for your VisualWood podcast on Guild Wars 2? I'm assuming that you're talking about the way I have the background. Now, a lot of people have been asking me this. All I do is take off my pants. That is the first thing you have to do. Then you press Control-Shift-H and basically /sleep, and then you could just point the direction you want your camera to go and just look at the beautiful background, because Guild Wars 2 has some really cool areas I haven't explored yet. I need to write them all down so I can actually have them for VisualWood. Cameron Beeswick says, would you prefer to see the empty areas of Tyria explorable first, like the Crystal Desert or the Far Shiver Peaks? Or would you prefer to see Cantha or Ilona? Listen, at this point, I would take any content they throw at me, any area that we haven't explored yet, or Cantha or Ilona or the Ring of Fire, any of them. And I mean a big area. I don't mean some small little area from the living story that we have seen so far. I mean a huge, fully fleshed out area. I want to see that, and it doesn't matter what continent it is, what place it is. I don't care. I want one of them. Now, I'm not demanding it or anything like that, but I'm saying I'm really intrigued in seeing another area of Guild Wars 2, because I want that feeling again when you first got the game and you're exploring all the worlds, because no one knew if there was a jumping puzzle there yet, or no one knew where all the secrets were in the world. Everyone was exploring all over the place, you know, doing the hearts, completing all this, getting world completion. It's just a good experience, especially a crazy meta event, or maybe one of the new ideas that we have expressed on VisualWood, like you know, like a big temple that the players can control in this new area and stuff like that. You know, bring in some new things. Don't just make it just a regular, you know, oh, here's some hearts, here's some dynamic events, you know, whatever. No, I want to see the whole full-fledged, you know, new mechanics, new types of dynamic events, hearts, some jumping puzzles, some little secret farming islands. I don't know, they might bring fishing out, you know, and you could have like a little special place in the cave that you can fish, and you know, and you can use the fish to cook some new potion or something like that. I don't know, just ideas I just like to throw out there. You know, I like to randomly just throw stuff out. Come to think about it, if you imagine a new place, something that we don't even know from the Guild Wars 2 lore, that some island appeared. Imagine us having like ship mechanics, just like in the new Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. You'll just ride on the ship and like a Risen will come and attack you, and you're like fighting them off. I know you guys don't want to hear Risen. Then like Zaitan will come out. Roar! I'm Zaitan, and you're not gonna just press 1 and 2 in the cannon. You're gonna actually fight me, and you could fight him on the ship while you're going to this island, this new continent that's gonna have all new content. Dude, that is an epic way to introduce a new piece of content. Hire me reading that. Hire me. Yeah, you know, don't. Excalibur 2010 says, I think it's sad the living story, like the tower, doesn't give you good enough loot like the champion farming in Frost Gorge. What the hell is up with that? Well, I mean, this is a system that has been in place from the beginning. Like, everything was just easy to get. You would just start your character, and the best experience would be leveling your character, because, you know, seeing the world, doing all the jumping puzzles, completing all the hearts, dynamic events, all for the first time is an amazing experience. You get to the end, and, well, now we have all the stuff that we can do with dungeons and stuff like that. But in terms of rewards, it's all cosmetic. You don't necessarily get stronger. Once you get exotic armor, that is it. Because people got exotic armor so quickly, they introduced ascended armor, which, you know, basically takes you a while to get, because you only could craft like certain materials daily. So they're slowly bringing themselves out of this area where it's just like, okay, everyone has everything, and blues and greens is everywhere. We need to add new rewards. So they come out with ascended mats that you can work towards your ascended gear, your weapons or armor, whatever you're going for. But if you're not going for that, it's still a problem for the people who, you know, just play the game just to play the game, and they don't really care about ascended armor, or people who already have ascended armor don't really need any of this mats. Well, hopefully you can sell them. Still, at the end of the day, like, it's like blues and greens, and then now this, you know, kind of like ascended mats. Is that really good enough? Probably not. And for the amount of effort that you put into the living story and getting all these achievements and stuff like that, blues and greens is just not, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. I think they have to improve the way they incentivize people to complete complete the living story. Most people do it because of the achievements. Now, it's the same problem with the World v World Season 1 chest, alright? So guys got blues and greens. Why even give people blues and greens? Just remove it from the chest entirely. You know people are going to complain about blues and greens. That's the thing. Blues and greens. What did I get in the chest? Oh, blues and greens. Blues and greens, blues and greens. In my opinion, just give them the rewards, or the same blues and greens, just transfer it into gold. Just make it gold. Like, okay, all these blues and greens add up to 1 gold. Just put 1 gold in the chest instead of giving them blues and greens. I know you understand you have to have like lower tiers, right? They also had tombs. They also had a mini Dolyak. They also had a finisher in there that's not permanent. The only thing unique is the Dolyak. And just for people who don't know, based on where you placed in the first season of World v World is the results that you get from the chest. So someone in, you know, second place will get better rewards than the people that are on the 20th place, for instance. But I think, why does it have to be that way? Why not just have a flat thing? Okay, this is what you're gonna get from the chest, right? And then you have a chance to get a precursor or something like that. Because what you're doing is incentivizing people to move on to the Blackgate server, which is you know, first in rank, who are gonna get the best rewards. Why get people to move all to one server? Like, oh, I want the best reward, so I'm gonna move to the top tier servers. You're just gonna flood all those servers. Yes, some people want to be on a server that actually does World v World correctly and not just you know, out there just randomly attacking people. That's fine, but what I think that they're telling players that to not even try, because why even complete the World v World meta achievement if you're not going to get good rewards if you're on a lower end server? Of course, people who play World v World will continue to play World v World. I mean, they could care less. They're playing World v World for some total different reason, because they enjoy World v World. I'm talking about players who, you know, they're trying to bring players into World v World, which I think, you know, World v World, as big as it is, I think there's a lot of servers out there, including mine, that, you know, just always have people in there playing World v World. If you want to play World v World, you know, strictly, you know, you move up to the bigger servers. That's just a thing, you know, and there's plenty of big servers that are out there. It's not just only, you know, rank 1 Blackgate. No, there's just plenty of servers that you could go into that you could get your start in World v World. But yeah, that is my answer. I am going way too long on these questions today. Bruno Me 45 says, "Hey Matt, will you play Guild Wars 3 one day when ArenaNet releases it? Do you want it to be more like Guild Wars 1 or Guild Wars 2? I think about time Guild Wars 3 comes out, or if it even comes out, maybe they even make a new MMO, or, you know, under a new name. I think as technology gets better, new MMO styles will be coming out and it will reshape the whole genre. I mean, nowadays we have all these action types of MMOs that people don't like to sit still anymore. People like to dodge, people like to move. Yes, that's not much of a leap, but gaming is starting to be more and more acceptable in everyday life. Technology will work with gaming and creating better graphics cards, better ways to manipulate the games, better ways to play your games. We have the Oculus Rift coming out. We have motion controls that connect where, you know, you scan your whole body. Like, that stuff is amazing technology. In like 10 years from now, right, which is probably where you'll see, like, you know, all these new MMOs now kind of die off and people will start working on new projects. I think the market will be just totally different and be looking for something else. That's the reason why you know, World of Warcraft is losing subscribers. I mean, they're still huge, but people move on because they want, you know, new mechanics, or the brand new MMO with the best graphics, or anything else. People like change. People like things to evolve. I mean, who is still using that old brick cell phone that used to be back in the days, that first cell phone? Who's using that still? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's one guy out there. Wambator says, "Do you think they should add any modifications to the current legendaries, or should they stay as they are? Also, do you think ascended weapons should be a precursor to the legendaries?" Based on your questions, I'm gonna assume that you mean, you know, modifications to actually getting the legendary and how you get the legendary, and not the effects or the cosmetics of the legendary. I definitely think current legendaries are gonna be reworked, because they've been working on precursors for how long now? I mean, it's been almost a year now. But I think the precursor side is the only place that they're gonna actually rework legendaries. They might change a few little things to make it a little easier or harder, depending on how they actually switch the game around the legendaries. But people are already working towards legendaries. People are already halfway done or 75% of the way done. If they were to change the formula or the recipe to make a legendary, it will, you know, mess up a lot of people's already time that they have put into getting the legendary. What they might do is change the way you get the new legendaries. This goes on to the second question: should ascended weapons be precursors for legendary weapons? I don't know. It seems that how it would be so easy just to switch that up, to say, okay, instead of getting the Dawn, you can now get ascended weapons. But it still causes the same issue as, okay, this is not going to work because people who have already bought the precursor, they're going to get upset. And you know, I know Guild Wars 2 is very good at customer service and saying, okay, we'll refund your money or do this or do that. They always seem to compensate. I don't think they'll put themselves in a position where they would have to compensate for legendary weapons. Now, it's still a really good idea because they can do this for other legendaries that haven't come out yet. I think this will give another incentive to get ascended armor and have like another pro to actually getting it, because some people are a little on the fence, and so am I. I'm on the fence. Why should I get ascended armor that gives a little bit stat boost that, you know, if I want to switch my build, I would have to change the whole set all over again and spend all that money all over again for a soulbound set of armor? I don't think it's a bad idea to have ascended armor be a precursor to legendary armor. I mean, consider getting ascended armor and be like, okay, I have this now. If I want to upgrade a little bit and be able to switch my stats at will, right? And that's what the legendary armor can do. Then you can just upgrade, and it could be piece by piece, but I'm assuming that it's going to be just a chest that gives you all 6 pieces of the legendary. Drummer Mean 2 says, hey Matt, which monitor do you use with your setup? I use 2 LED 1080p monitors that I just love. I love dual screen. I found both of these ViewSonics on Amazon. I'm pretty sure they're kind of out of date already. They seem to come out with a new ViewSonic every few months, and they were pretty cheap, so I bought them. And I bought one, and then I bought the other later, and I just never went back to a single monitor ever. As long as your graphics card can handle it, I think dual monitor, especially if you're just doing a bunch of stuff, you have all these tabs open, you have the game open with having a guide or anything like that, it's just so much better. Talking on Skype, it's the greatest experience ever, and I could never go back to a single monitor. But I run everything at 1080p because, I mean, obviously, all my videos are in 1080p. I don't upscale. Everything is 1080p. That's why it looks so crisp and juicy. Anyways, guys, that is my Q&A for today. Yes, there were more questions on the last video. Don't worry, I'll be bringing it back in the next episode, including a lot of new ones. I'm gonna try to fit as much as I can in this like 10-minute window that I like to do. I think that's like a good size for a Q&A, and I'll just do multiple of them a week, so I could get more of your questions done, because I seem to be getting a lot of questions now. So let me get on top of that, and especially because there is no living story or any of the patches for basically the rest of the month or the rest of the year for Guild Wars 2. So I need to fill those spaces in with maybe some other videos I've been trying to work on the side for a while, and hopefully you'll see those into fruition by the end of the year, and we'll pick back up right when the living story pops up again. If you want to leave a question down below for me to answer in the next video, go ahead and leave it down below. If you want to argue with me or agree with me, go ahead and put it down in the comment section below as well. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and stay visual.